Hello guys, welcome to another discussion under the subject service culture. We will focus our topic on motivation. This module defines motivation as a set of conditions that prompt change even as they are developed individually. It was designed to equip students with the paradigm for personal development and build in them a desire to meet the demands and requirements for success. To explain why motivation is a key component of leadership, evaluate one's personal motivation, determine how to improve one's current motivation in order to develop competent leadership. Motivation is a basic system that prompts us to keep going towards expected or aspired ends. So there are different theories under the motivation. So we have the two-factor theory, the goal setting, the drive, and the acquired needs. Pag sinabing motivation, ito yung tumutulong mag-push sa sarili mo para gawin at tapusin ang mga bagay-bagay. It could be para sa iba or para sa sarili mo. So motivation is the process that initiates, guides, maintains goal-oriented behaviors. It is what causes you to act, whether it is getting a glass of water to reduce thirst or reading a book to gain a knowledge. Motivation involves the biological, emotional, social, and cognitive forces that activate behavior. Ituring natin na parang energy pill yung motivation. Nagiging persistent tayo dahil motivated tayo, so we make a move and take action. So the more na marami ang motivation mo, the more nagaganahan ka pa para ma-reach yung goals na gusto mo. In the two-factor theory, so sa two-factor theory, we have the intrinsic and the extrinsic. Yung intrinsic motivation is nagiging satisfied ka based on your enjoyment. Kumbaga, you do it because it's enjoyable and it's interesting, rather than because of an outside incentive or pressure to do it. O walang reward, walang deadline. So you just do it because you enjoy doing it. So the extrinsic motivation naman are based on the performance of an activity in order to obtain an outcome. Example, so work. So sa intrinsic naman, the satisfaction is based from the result. It could be a money, fame, grades, or praise. Usually sa work or sa school mo siya makikita dahil yung motivation mo is yung grade. So yung plan mo is to keep on studying until tumaas yung grades mo. Same rin sa work. Kayod ka ng kayod sa work para maging mataas din yung sahod mo. In goal setting theory naman by Edwin Locke, it assumes that goal setting is linked to task performance and that specific and challenging goals, along with appropriate feedback, leads to a higher and better task performance. So goals indicate and give direction to an individual about what needs to be done and how much effort is required to be put in to achieve a given task or goal. Sinasabi dito na yung key motivation mo is yung makamtan mo yung objectives mo. So dapat bago ka mag-set, dapat specify mo muna yung goal mo, dapat alam mo kung attainable ba siya, relevant ba siya, at saka may deadline ka pa para maging effective yung result ng performance mo. May mga tao naman na yung goal nila is not just yung outcome pero din nagsiset sila ng goals para sa process. Example yung COMELEC pag mag-vote tayo. Grabe yung planning phase nila bago yung voting period kasi ang goal nila is to make the voting process go smoothly as possible. Sa drive theory naman, it is based on the principle that organisms are born with certain psychological needs, that these needs prod organisms to action in order to attain them, and that drives are lessened when the needs are met. A negative state of tension is created when the needs are not satisfied. Anxiety builds along with the other negative emotions. The drive theory also states that when needs are met and the drive is reduced, the organism returns to a state of relaxation or calm. According to the drive theory of motivation, people are motivated to take certain actions in order to reduce the internal tension that is caused by unmet needs. So this theory is useful in explaining behaviors that have strong biological component, such as pagkagutom or pagkauhaw. So it is a drive that creates an unpleasant state, a tension that needs to be reduced. Kailangan natin kumain pag nagugutom, umiinom tayo ng tubig kapag nauuhaw. So this is drive theory. Meaning we are motivated based on our need. Acquired needs naman by David McClelland, this assumes that we have needs that are formulated over time based on our experience. So there are three types of motivational needs: achievement, authority, at saka affiliation. The acquired needs, which is focus achievement, it postulated that only a few people have achievement motivations and that people with stronger achievement needs make better leaders. Yung achievement is ito yung mga tao na ang motivation is yung kanilang achievements. Example, may degree ka sa masteral, sa doctoral, may CPA, MBA, engineer, attorney, at saka kung ano pang dagdag sa pangalan. Yung authority naman is mga taong may drive maging isang influential. Maraming supporters at tagahanga na dapat pakitaan ng pagiging effective. So, ito yung motivation nila. Ang affiliation naman, ito yung mga taong kailangan ng friendly relationship o kailangan mag-interact sa ibang tao. Kailangan nila ng harmonious relationship sa ibang tao. The affiliation driver produces motivation and need to be liked and held in popular regard. Management and leadership conflict. Management is the act of getting people together to accomplish desired goal and objective. The human actions of designing or facilitating systems or organizations. So this is a formal role. So let's try to differentiate managers and leaders. So leadership naman is considered a value that defines performance direction. It is also a competency. It is assumed that the right kind of leadership result in concentrated efforts towards the achievement of actual performance excellence. So let's try to differentiate managers and leaders. The manager administers while the leader innovates. The manager maintains while the leader develops. The manager focuses on systems and structure while the leader focuses on the people. The title manager often denotes a specific role within an organization's hierarchy. Kumbaga, meron siyang role sa isang company. While referring to someone as a leader has a more fluid meaning. Pag sinabing leader, meron siyang band na kasama. It could be na yung manager magiging leader. So, there are times that yung manager nagiging leader. Kung highlight ko ito, most managers also tend to be leaders, but only if they also adequately carry out the leadership responsibilities of management, and that a big and they encourage employees to rise to a higher level of productivity. That is only the time nga yung manager magiging leader. So between the roles is trust. The biggest factor that differentiates one from the other is the loyalty and following afforded by staff. There is an unspoken layer of trust. Kung sa manager, you have no choice but to trust him. Pero kung leader, you have the free will to trust or not. Followers are often driven by loyalty through the practice of free will. Staff or subordinates are often driven by a certain measure of fear. So kung manager ka, followership is looked upon as a phenomenon resulting from recognized motivation. So motivation is a leader's primary function. It could be for himself or para sa mga members niya. Parang teacher din. The more active at willing ang student na mag-learn, the nagiging motivated yung teachers to go an extra mile para sa learnings ng mga student. So here are lessons in motivation. Motivation is personal. A good leader takes the time to learn what motivates each individual. The effect of fear and other external motivators is likely to diminish over time. Fear is negative and exhausting. People's motivation often lines up with their strengths. Keep an eye on people's strengths. People's motivation often lines up with their strengths. Kaya nga, you have to keep an eye on people's strengths. People need clear goals and expectation and consistent communication to remain motivated. So motivation is different from manipulation. People often say money is what motivates them. However, it usually isn't the money itself, but rather what the money brings that really motivates them. Never assume everyone likes public recognition. While group motivation is certainly possible and teamwork has its own desirable dynamics, ultimately motivation comes from inside each person. So I will end my presentation here. Thank you very much for listening. Goodbye.